A beautiful Sunday morning here in the capital of the United Arab Emirates. In a few moments, we will pass the halfway point of the 2021 Asian Formula 3 Championship. Good morning and welcome to the Yas Marina Grand Prix circuit for race 2, round 3 here this morning. Ian Silvestrin, as ever, with our expert commentator Aditya Patel. Aditya, this is shaping up to be a fantastic championship, and already we've got a clear battle between three.
We've had three different leaders in the championship. It's not just a battle between them. Zhu led early on, then Jehan took the championship lead a couple of days ago, and now it's Pierre-Louis Chauvet leading the championship. So it is turning out to be quite a championship. It's very close between the three of them as well. Chauvet doesn't have too much of a gap to Jehan. It's only 6 points between the two of them, and another 8 points down from Jehan to Zhu. So it's anybody's game at the moment. We still have 8 races to go. So let's see how it turns out.
A 5-round, 15-race championship. We have raced 7 times yesterday afternoon. Race 1 of this, the 3rd round of the series. It was Pierre-Louis Chauvet who has finally worked out how to launch car 3 for Pinnacle Motorsport off the line. Raced away to a safety car interrupted victory. We're going to check out the highlights of what happened yesterday afternoon as Chauvet took his 3rd victory of the 2021 championship. Lead and would never cede. Jehan Daroubala tried to chase down the Frenchman. He was hounded himself by the Prema team drivers. Dino Beganovic, who fell back to 6th, but would work his way up. Guan Yu Zhou right behind the Indian driver in 3rd place. And Roy Nissany, after coming together with Patrick Pasma, who was eliminated on the opening lap, would come home to finish 5th. Out front, Chauvet simply drove away. Jehan Daroubala gave absolutely everything. However, he would not take the victory, and he would lose his lead in the championship. Guan Yu Zhou intelligently coming home in 3rd place. Fabulous battle further back in the pack. Roy Nissany and Isaac Hadjar, not for the first time, not for the only time, but they went wheel to wheel out on that very corner. The High-Tech and Evans GP drivers. Chauvet, well, they simply didn't see which way he went. At the end, the victory margin would be more than 7 seconds. Good performance from Roy Nissany on the podium last week at the Dubai Autodrome. Would come home to finish in P5, and Ayumu Iwasa, the Red Bull Junior, pulling ahead of this battle between Kushmaini and Chambolik Bashi, who continues to impress in the Doge-backed 74 machine. Daroubala locking up the front left consistently throughout the race. Remember, we have got 8 tyres for qualifying and the 3 races. Pierre-Louis Chauvet took the checkered flag, and he's got a near perfect set of GT tyres after that race victory. Daroubala home in 2nd place, and Guan Yu Zhou on the podium once again in 3rd. Car 3, Pierre-Louis Chauvet takes the victory. Incidentally, he takes pole position this morning courtesy of setting the fastest lap on his very final tour. Chauvet with his 3rd victory in the series and now leads the championship, 119 points. Back to Jehan Daroubala on 113 and Guan Yu Zhou 3rd on 105 points. Well, the cars on their installation lap before coming around to the grid. We have waxed lyrical about this circuit, which was built now 12 years ago. A mainstay, a regular on the Formula 1 FIA World Championship calendar. Under lights, unfortunately, we're not racing under lights. We did have a practice session under lights on Wednesday, but it is an amazing place, even if the atmosphere is a little dull, because yes, the grandstands are unfortunately still empty. We are going to cross down to the grid and catch up with, as you look at Pierre-Louis Chauvet, Jake is down there, and we'll see who he's got to speak to this morning.
Aditya. Hope you're having a great start to the morning. Pierre-Louis Chauvet starting from pole position. Obviously, he's in his A-game focus now, and he is ready for another fantastic charge through the field. It's going to be an interesting one for him from pole position. They were very quick off the line yesterday. In terms of his starts, he was around 3 seconds from 0 to 100. Now he's doing 2.8. Very, very quick starts. Over here in second position, we have Guan Yu Zhou, former championship leader, but we've seen a couple of times now this weekend in some of the races that the second position on the starting grid is actually a better place to start from on the grid. So it could be interesting to see how fast Guan Yu Zhou gets off the line compared to Pierre-Louis Chauvet. Third position, another opportunity for Isaac Hajar, the serial fighter and the overtaker. He's got a good opportunity here to win his first race, and he's running out of opportunities. I have a feeling that if he takes a win, though, either in this race or the next, that they may decide to continue his campaign to the end of the season. So that could be very interesting. There's an unfamiliar face, but a very pleasant one to see here in fourth position. And I'm going to have a word with him. Lorenzo Flusha, who had a problem in yesterday's race, but they did exactly the right thing. They brought him into the pits, put him on a fresh set of tyres, and he got a fast lap in. So now he's going to start from P4 on the grid. Lorenzo, great to see you up here on the second row of the grid. A brilliant decision yesterday to get a fast lap in, to get a front row start. So what's your focus heading for the first part of the race?
Looking at the front, I'm going for the win now. That's always the objective when you go on track.
Obviously, it's a new situation, a new challenge for you. You know the car now, you know the circuit. Can we get you on the podium in the second race?
Yeah, obviously that's the objective. I know the car, as you said, the track from last year, so let's go for the best result we can.
We know you're in the right position in the right place. Good luck. Have a great race. Absolute mastercraft strategy there from Lorenzo to put in a new set of tyres and get a fast lap, knowing that the fast lap would give him a good grid position for this race. Now, Dino Beganovic is there in fifth position on the grid. We know how fast Dynamite Dino can be at the best of times. So he's definitely one to watch from the third row of the grid. And again, he is also running out of chances to make a good race before he gets replaced by his fellow Ferrari Driver Academy driver, David Vidales. Johan Dalawala starts in P6 for this one, the third row of the grid. So it's definitely not going to be as easy as in previous races over the last 3 days. He's going to have his work cut out from that third row start. That'll be interesting. A little further back, we have Cem Bolakbasi, the Turkish driver, who has been absolutely rapid over the course of this weekend. And let's not forget, he's come from the world of video gaming to come into the world of Asian Formula 3. Cem, great to see you here, fourth row of the grid, and on the inside line too. It's a pretty good position to be. How are your thoughts going into this one?
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed the races yesterday. I think it was a good race. We'll try to replicate that and gain some positions again in the race.
There's millions of race fans from Turkey and millions of gamers out there who are all really rooting for you and cheering you on. What are the chances of a decent finish in this one from P7 on the grid?
I'll try my best like I did in all of the races. Let's make them proud.
Fantastic. Good luck out there, mate. He is so positive, so humble, and such an incredible athlete as well. Great to see someone go from the world of gaming into the world of top-level motorsport. Roy Nizani, 8th position on the starting grid, definitely one to keep an eye on as well. We know how feisty he can be on the first lap of a race, so he's definitely one to focus in on. Roman Stanek, the Czech driver, is also a feisty competitor, and he's getting better every single time in that high-tech. I think we've just got time to focus in on one more, and why not round out the top 10 with Kush Mayani. I'm going to come over to the other side, and we'll have a word with Kush as he prepares for the start. Kush, good to see you again. Another solid effort in the qualifying to be in the top 10. It is going to be tricky from here. The middle of the pack is always a very tough place to start. What are your thoughts heading into the race?
Yeah, obviously the last few weekends have not been easy. I don't want to be qualifying 10th. I want to be fighting up front, but it is what it is. I'm just going to give it my all. You can only take the start as it comes, and I'm going to try to find the gap and move forward.
Now, the first lap here is always quite tough because you have to try and stay out of trouble. In terms of your pace with the car, how are you feeling ahead of the race?
We're trying a few things, so it's like a bit of an experiment for us this race, so we'll have a look how it goes.
Well, hopefully the Indian flag will be flying twice in the top 6 in this one. Good luck, Kush.
Thanks.
So from 10th position on the grid, let's not make any bones about the fact that it is going to be tough, but Kush is one of those drivers who can really respond. He had a great race one, So we should see some brilliant battles. Ayumu Uwasa is also one to watch for in 11th position on the grid. He's starting to get some decent finishes in. Keep an eye on Rhys Ushijima back in the pack as well. He really responded brilliantly over the weekend and has got himself some good performances. So this is an opportunity to see who's going to make it stick in this midway point of the season. Boys, back to you.
A fascinating grid we do have this morning, in particular the two Black Arts racing team drivers. Lorenzo Flutzer, great to see him on the second row of the grid, and Jembolik Barsi just a few places behind in 7th. As you look at Alexandre Badignon, Car 25 will race in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine in 2021. The Black Arts racing team, of course, team manager, former Minardi Formula 1 driver Alex Young here at the circuit. And he's got 2 of his boys in the top 7. It's not a reverse grid, as F1 is discussing at the moment, Aditya, but it's pretty close to it.
I'm actually a big fan of reverse grid races. You don't sound
Really?
like you are, but I really like reverse grid races. I've been in a few myself.
Where's your sense of tradition?
It's fun to overtake. Who doesn't like some good overtaking? Even drivers love it. I mean, unless you're a Formula 1 driver, I guess, but it's great to watch. We saw last year Formula 2 had some fantastic races. Formula 3 had fantastic races, and they were most of them were the reverse grid races, if you remember. So why not?
It doesn't take anything away from the drivers who are starting towards the front. It changes nothing for our pole sitter, Pierre-Louis Chauvet, to the left of your screen. As you look at Rhys Ushijima for Team High Tech. And that was Chem just beside. This year's Rhys's teammate, Roy Nissani. The last time he raced or competed here at Abu Dhabi was in free practice 1 for the 2020 Abu Dhabi Formula 1 Grand Prix for the Williams F1 team. A few moments away from the installation lap. Interesting to point out, we see that the championship contenders, Chauvet, Guan Yu Zhou and Jahan Daruvala, 1, 2, 3 in the championship. Would you believe they actually went karting last week at the Dubai Autodrome? Did Jahan on your screen now, and Guan Yu Zhou, Formula 2 races. David Brighton, the team at the Dubai Autodrome, helping them out there. Incidentally, just a few days prior to that, not only was Jahan and Guan Yu doing laps of the Dubai kart circuit, but as was F3 driver Max Futrell, Tom Bale, and of course Lando, the 3 former Ricky Flynn Motorsport drivers. Lando was locked down after, well, he had to stay here for 14 days. Let's not exactly mention the reason why. So why not go karting in one of the most amazing cities on earth, as the mechanics prepare to leave the circuit and we get underway with our installation lap. 20 cars on the grid. This is race 7. It is 30 minutes. When we pass the 15-minute point, it will be the halfway point of the 2021 championship.
Let's talk about some strategies now. I was speaking to some drivers up and down the grid, and it seems to me like Guan Yu Zhou has gone with a very interesting strategy. I believe he's running on used tires from the first race. Chauvet, on the other hand, on brand new tires, obviously now going to sacrifice himself for race 3 because he's going to struggle there a little bit.
But his tyres are good, Pierre-Louis Chauvet, as the field sets off. We'll come back to that in a moment, Aditya, as we take a look at the grid. It is Chauvet and Zhou on the front row of the grid. It is Isaac and Lorenzo on the second row. Go back to the third row of the grid. It is Dynamite Dino and JT on row 3. Starting out of grid 7 from Istanbul in Turkey is the F1 Esports Champion of the World 2017, Jembolik Barsi. And for Team High Tech, it is Roy Nissani. On the 5th row of the grid, Roman Stanek and Kushmaini, who we heard from on the grid just a few moments ago before the start. On the 11th row, Yumo Iwasa, Roberto Faria for Team Motorscape, the team of Sanad Shanak, based here in the Emirates. Rhys Ushijima, Alexandre Batignon, Car 25 for the Irish-owned Pinnacle Motorsport team. Nicola Marinangeli, the Italian, alongside the local girl, Anna Alcabasi. The 9th row of the grid, Matthias Luthen from Germany and the Roman Alessio Deleda, also for Team Pinnacle Motorsport. And on the final row of the grid, Patrick Pasma in a new car alongside Rafael Villagomez. Patrick Pasma has taken over the car of Casper Stevenson, who has withdrawn. So you will see different colours, same number for the Finn, who has to start way back, last 20th on the grid. Speaking about the tyres, Aditya, yes, Pierre-Louis Chauvet on used tyres, but they were so happy. They were straight yesterday. They were clean, and they had very little wear despite taking a dominant victory.
Indeed, he didn't have much challenge from behind, particularly from Jehan, who kind of fell back a little bit at the start, and then it was for Chauvet to manage his pace, and I guess his tyres are pretty decent. Zhu, on the other hand, right now running on tyres from race 1. Chauvet has saved new tyres for, is planning to run his used tyres in the last race because he's on pole position now. New tyres are his best bet. Isaac Hadjar, I can imagine he's on new tyres as well. Lorenzo Flutza as well. I think Dino and Jehan running on used tyres from race 1. So it's going to mix things up a bit because Nissani running 8th, I would imagine he's on new tyres as well. So I can imagine we're in for an interesting race. What do you think?
Yes, and Roy is notoriously quick off the start. The breeze is also quite strong here this morning, but the sand that we had yesterday, nowhere near as bad this morning.
Yeah, we didn't see much sand this morning, so I think the drivers are quite pleased about that. It definitely cleans up the starting grid.
But it did add to the race spectacle yesterday, certainly. Preparing for race 2 here this morning, the 2021 Formula 3 Championship of Asia. Welcome to our live coverage wherever you are watching all around the world from the Yas Marina Grand Prix circuit. Chauvet, the pole sitter, to the left of your screen. Guan Yu Zhou on the right. We wait for the green flag at the back of the grid, the halfway point of the 2021 championship. And we race again, another super start from Chauvet. Zhou tries to go with him. Dynamite Dino from back on the grid rockets up into 3rd place. Fabulous start by Isaac Hadjar, goes into 4th as Amna runs off the circuit further back in the pack. Chauvet again just launched it. Dino goes through behind his teammate. That's Guan Yu in 3rd place. Looking for Jahan Darubala. Remember, started on 6th on the grid. That's where he comes across. The first timing sector down through the corkscrew on the opening lap of the race. A clean start, and once again Chauvet leads the way. Back to the 2 Abu Dhabi Prema Power Racing Team drivers. Lorenzo Flutza still holding his own in this world-class field here this morning. Kush down the inside. Nice move. Ayumu Iwasa is getting mauled though. Patrick already making up places from the back of the grid. Chauvet with the race lead.
Fantastic move there by Kush. I didn't see it coming. He was way behind, but we're looking now at, is that Zhu? Oh no, that's Dino being hustled by Hadjar. Hadjar trying to go around the outside. Can he make it stick? No, they made contact.
In the grass goes the Prema Power team driver. A messy start here this morning. Hadjar's off the road. Chauvet keeps pulling away from the pack as they fight. Here comes the Mumbai Falcons team drivers. Jahan goes round. Isaac slows. Kush takes him as well. Isaac is out of the race.
Oh, that's disappointing for Isaac. I think he has a puncture after that. They went wheel to wheel into turn 11. But there's only place for one car going into turn 12. And that just didn't work for Isaac. But I think Dino got away with it. Looking at the leaders now, Zhu is not letting Chauvet get away. But again, Chauvet's got the better set of tires. He can manage his pace and control it. He knows Zhu behind him is running on tires that we used in race 1.
They come across the line for the first time. It is Chauvet, Zhou, Beganovic, Lorenzo in P4. Jambolic Barsi, it is in fact in P5. Head of Daruvala, mainly the 2 Mumbai Falcons team drivers in 6th and 7th. Roy, Roman and Reese, the high-tech drivers, 8, 9 and 10. Marinangeli, Faria, Patrick up to 13th. Patrick has come from grid 20 to pass 7 cars in the opening lap of the race. Isaac Hadjar pulls down into pit lane. His teammate Patrick absolutely flying here this morning. Chauvet leads the way. Zhu in 2nd spot. As Isaac pulls into pit lane, it doesn't look like the quickest stop. There looks to be suspension damage. The left rear of Isaac, who has just driven brilliantly throughout the Formula 3 Asian Championship Series, straight up from Formula 4. The young Parisian, but it looks as though his race is already over. The battle for 5th place. Jambolic Barsi, Lorenzo Flutza, Dino just ahead. as Roy tries to attack Kush at the back of your screen. What a tremendous sight this is. The capital city of the United Arab Emirates covered in dust here this morning. Yas Marina here on Yas Island. And Chauvet just drives away. He is leading the race. He is leading the championship. It's looking good for the young Frenchman at the early stage of the race.
A little further back, it looks like Flutza now is being hustled a little bit by Dino. Dino definitely has the pace over Flutza, so Flutza's going to have to try really hard to keep Dino behind. And then he's got Jehan and Kush who are then catching really quickly. Flutza's got his mirrors full of a Dino, of dynamite Dino. It's going to be interesting to watch those two now as they get onto the straight before turn 8. I think that's where Dino has his best chance, and if he doesn't make it there, he's got another chance later on. Oh, is that Chem? That's Chem Bolakbashi.
In fact, it is Chem, yes. As Kush goes through in car 28, Jahan in 19. You just got a glimpse of Matthias Luthen trying to chase down Rafael Villagomez at the back of the pack. Good job from those two drivers. Matthias Luthen, one of the least experienced drivers in the field, but really holding his own. He's the veteran German racer. Rafael Villagomez, a new car from the team yesterday. And they're trying to chase down the Roman, Alessio Deleda. So the order is Chauvet, Zhou, Beganovic, Lorenzo in P4. That's Chem just behind. Jahan looks quick this morning as Roy dives down the inside. Kush just goes to the left in the middle of the circuit. Closes off the Israeli driver, but he'll be slow on the exit. He'll be vulnerable. That was Patrick in the background in the blue and pink Evans GP machine with Ayumu Iwasa right behind. Roy Nissany gets the toe. Tries to take the Indian. Kush goes to the left. Out in the dust, not the marbles. They were almost in the wall. The Indian holds off the Israeli again. Roman Stanek tries to close in on the back of his high-tech teammate. Kushmaini in real trouble here this morning. It is now a 5-car freight train. Kush, Roy, Roman, Reese and Nicola Marinangeli trying to join this battle as well.
That was incredible by Roy Nissany. He went completely off the track trying to pass Kush, and then they go off the track again, and it gets really close between Nissany and Stanek there.
Oliver Rokes for Team High Tech will be having a heart attack in the pit lane. His 3 drivers, Roy, Roman and Reese, going 3 wide, and still Kush does just hold them off, but the question is for how long? Cem Bolakbashi closing in on the back of Lorenzo Flutza, who is driving superbly here this morning. Beganovic in 3rd, Flutza in 4, and Cem, his best result thus far in the series, in position 5. There's Jahan going through.
I think that gave Kush a little bit of breathing space there to Roy. It looks like Stanek's got ahead of Roy Nissany, so Stanek's going to try now and see if he can get past Kush, but Nissany completely off the track there. I think they're going to probably look at that after the race. It's happened before. I've seen it happen before, and the stewards don't take that lightly, because you do have track limits. You look at the white lines, those are your track limits, and if you go 4 wheels off, you're basically driving off the circuit. That was an incredible attempt there by Nissany.
Roy, the Israeli, is absolutely fearless. We speak about track limits. In reality, you're a racing driver, Aditya. The real track limit is either the grass or a concrete wall.
Yeah, you get away here because you've got tarmac all around you for miles, so Roy could get away with that. But Kushmaini now a little bit of breathing space before Stanek can get closer to him, but it does look like Stanek is catching him, and he's catching him quickly.
Roberto Faria tries to defend from Patrick Pasma, who is charging, trying to take 12th place. Went around the outside as the Brazilian locked up the brakes. He's got Ayumu Iwasa in the Red Bull livery car just behind. Just going through the right-hander now. Alexandre Bartignon steps out of the car. The Frenchman has stalled. And there looks to be a failure, Aditya, to the left rear or the... Well, you tell me your opinion.
It looks like there is an issue on the left rear. It looks like broken suspension.
That's not just a puncture.
That's not just a puncture. The car is balancing on its wheels, so it looks like he's had contact with somebody further down. I'm not sure if that's going to bring out the safety car. We didn't see exactly where his car's parked, and yes, that did bring out the safety car.
So the lead of Pierre-Louis Chauvet of 1.4 seconds instantly evaporates. The safety car is out on the circuit to retrieve the car of the French driver Alexandre Bartignon. Disappointment for young Alexandre for Team Pinnacle Motorsport. There is the race leader. He was travelling nicely, Pierre-Louis Chauvet in car 3 out front. The gap 1.5 seconds, just controlling the pace. Comes down through the corkscrew section of the circuit. The Camaro supercar safety car out onto the track to try and pick up Pierre-Louis Chauvet. We'll try and bring you a replay of what happened just a few moments ago to bring out the safety car. Oh, that's the reason why, coming together. Don't tell me that was his teammate. And yes, indeed, there is big damage to the left rear of Alexandre Badignon's car.
That did look like his teammate. Both the cars did look like similar color, but we couldn't see from here what number that car was.
Yeah, perhaps wisely we shall refrain from nominating one of his teammates because we could not see clearly. It matters little though because Alexandre Badignon walked back to the pits. He is out of the race. Damage to the left rear. The car parked on the middle of the circuit, rendered undrivable. And Alexandre Badignon joins his countryman Isaac Hadja. The two French drivers are out of the race.
We see all the drivers going around because they have to avoid the incident.
It was Matthias Luton.
It was the teammates who came together then.
John O'Hara, the Irish team owner. No time for an Irish joke there.
But at least he's got Pierre-Louis Chauvet in the lead. He's got his eyes on his lead driver, Pierre. And now, though, this has worked in favor of Guanyu Zhou because Zhou now will be right behind Chauvet. But Chauvet, with the third restart behind the safety car of the season, and it's the third time that he's in the lead as well. All three safety car restarts, we've seen Chauvet in the lead, and he's absolutely aced all three of them.
It will be interesting. At least another lap behind the safety car as Alexandre, the former, I should say the second generation racer, third generation racer, his father competing in European Formula 2, also Le Mans back in 1970 something, I think it was 1977. Alexander, disappointment. We were commenting how well Matthias Luton was doing, one of the least experienced drivers in the field, having made his professional racing debut just 18 months ago. Was running well until he made contact with his teammate. He's in the pits, he's out. Badignon is out. Isaac Hadja is also out as the safety car leads the race. 1/3 race distance. Pierre-Louis Chauvet is on his 6th lap behind the safety car. Guanyu Zhou is in 2nd place, behind the series leader, behind the race leader. Dino in 3rd, Lorenzo driving superbly in P4. The sad sight of Alexandre's car being pulled off the circuit. Not huge damage, they'll comfortably repair that in time for race 3 this afternoon. So Lorenzo in P4, Cem Bologbasi in P5 ahead of Jahan Darubala, Kushmani. So the Mumbai Falcons team's drivers, 6 and 7. Roman, Roy and Reese for Team High-Tech, 8, 9 and 10. As Badignon's car is removed from the circuit. The Manu Kloss team driver, the second, I'm sure he's the 3rd generation racer, he is out of the race. We'll see him back in action for race 3 this afternoon.
Cem Bologbasi right behind Lorenzo Flutza. We saw that Cem had the pace over Flutza, and I can imagine that this is when he wants to take advantage of the situation that they're in. Flutza as well, he must be cursing the situation. I think he seemed to have found a good rhythm. He was able to keep Cem behind him, but this changes everything. So let's see how it goes after the safety car restart. But Chauvet, once again, he's got his work cut out. He's got Zhou right behind him this time. The last 2 times it was Jahan. This time it's Zhou. Can Zhou do something different to Jahan? Can he catch up? Can he catch on Chauvet's start tactics? But the safety car lights go off. This means the safety car now goes into the pit at the end of this lap, and the race will restart. As we see Chauvet now bunch the pack up before he then attempts to rocket away.
You are watching Race 2 live here from Yas Marina. Incidentally, we would like to thank the Mumbai Falcons for bringing you, in fact, our live coverage of these rounds of the Asian Formula 3 Championship. The Mumbai Falcons team making their debut in the all-new X1 Racing Series in 2020, following in the footsteps of the Force India Grand Prix team. We thank the Mumbai Falcons for bringing us live coverage of the F3 Asian Championship 2021. Their drivers Jahan and Kush in 6 and 7. Pierre-Louis Chauvet bunches the field up. The Frenchman is about to lead the field across the line. The safety car pulls into pit lane. Guan Yu Zhou tries to stay with as Chauvet accelerates. This is the final corner. They come on to the start-finish straight. The green flag flies just under half race distance. Chauvet leads away here today. Guan Yu Zhou down the inside. Good start by Lorenzo in P4. Trying to take a podium spot from young Bogdanovic in third place. David Vidales watches on from pit wall. He will be driving car 16 next week at the Dubai Autodrome. At the moment, his teammate Dynamite Dino still on the podium. In third place, trying to defend from Lorenzo Fluxa. Down the hill through the corkscrew, Chauvet, Zhou, Bogdanovic, Fluxa, Gianbolak Basi, Jahan and Kush, Roman, Roy and Reese. Nicola Marinangeli, fabulous drive from the Italian. He's now into 11th. One place outside the top 10. Chauvet under pressure now from Guan Yu Zhou. The Chinese driver looks racy here on the restart.
Chauvet didn't nail it like he did before. He's got Zhou breathing down his neck at the moment. He's got his mirrors full of the Chinese driver. So Zhou now, with his tires cooled down, he needs to take advantage of the next couple of laps if he wants to make a move on Chauvet. We're seeing him showing himself in Chauvet's mirror. Gets right behind him going into turn 11. So Chauvet now needs to get on the defensive. Let's see what Chauvet can do. Zhou is not going to make it easy for him. We have 15 minutes to go, but like we said early on, Chauvet is on the better tires. Zhou has a small window here to make something happen. Let's see what he can do.
Half race distance right now, and indeed we have just officially passed half race or half championship distance. The 2021 Asian Formula 3 Championship, 15 races. As Patrick Pasma defends from Ayumu Iwasa. Patrick into 13th place. So the gap before the safety car intervened was 1.4 seconds, 1.5 in fact, as Guan Yu Zhou goes wide, just misses the apex, runs off the circuit, goes defensive, has to block his young teammate Dino. Lorenzo watches this as a yellow flag down into turn 1. The safety car is out again. Oh, that was lucky from Zhou. He turned in, the car did not respond. The right-hander coming onto the straight, he ran off the circuit, was about to be attacked by Dino. The yellow flag came out because, again, we've got the safety car out on the circuit at the exact halfway point of the 2021 Formula 3 Asian Championship. Nicola Marinangeli off in the wall.
Yeah, Zhou ran wide there, and that played in the hands of Dino, but then straight after that we saw the safety car flag out, and then Dino had to tuck back in behind Zhou. But this works for Zhou again because he made that mistake that helped Chauvet get away a little bit, but now he's back behind Chauvet, bring the tire temps back down. Like I said, there's that small window for Zhou to try and make a move on Chauvet. Let's see what happens after the restart. We didn't get to see if there was an incident between Nicola and anyone else, so if we do manage to get a replay, that would be great. But once again, behind the safety car, slows things down for a lot of drivers. I'm sure there are some drivers who aren't really happy with safety car situations, but for some drivers, it absolutely works in their favor.
Nicola Marinangeli, the Elettra Gas entry, the driver from the north of the eternal city of Rome, racing in the Formula Regional European Championship and the Formula Renault Euro Cup in 2020. Of course, those two championships merging to create the Regional Championship by Alpine for 2021. It is the exact same car. We do have an Alfa Romeo power plant in the Formula 3 Asian Championship. Nicola Marinangeli has experienced both the Renault and the Alfa Romeo, but at the moment he's going nowhere. He is out. Roy Nissany, incidentally, has dropped further back in the pack, and just before the safety car did intervene, Roberto Faria got inside the top 10, and Patrick Pasma from the back of the grid about to come onto our screen. Patrick in 11th place for Evans GP. There is Patrick coming through now, the turquoise and pink machine. Josh Evans GP, as Nicola Marinangeli's car still on the circuit. The left rear certainly a puncher, and it looks as though, look at the front left end plate, the wing plate on the front wing there, Aditya, damage.
It does look like he's had side contact with somebody. There's some tire marks on his front wing plate. The rear left is punctured, so it does look like there has been some contact. Nissani seems to be in the pit, so we're not sure what's happened there. We can't see Nissani's car in the pit, but he's definitely fallen back a little bit. Not sure what's happened there. But Chauvet once again behind the safety car. This is not his most ideal situation, because this just helps Zhu every single time the safety car comes out. Zhu must be really pleased with the situation, though. There, as we see Nicola's car being pulled away, he should be able to fix it for race 3 and be up and running once again. It looks like a little bit of damage to the front suspension as well, but nothing that can't be repaired in the next few hours.
Nicola Marinangeli, car 77, his teammate Roberto Faria in the points. Car 7 for Team Motorscape, and there is Roy stopped out on the circuit. The Israeli is out. He did not make it back to the pit lane. That's a disappointment. Roy is seeing his championship hopes disintegrate here this morning as we approach 2/3 race distance. Team Motorscape, Nicola Marinangeli, Sanad Shanak, team manager, based here in the Middle East. One driver, Nicola, for Sanad, is out, but Roberto from Rio is in 10th place, and Roy has also retired. So we have lost Roy Nissani, Nicola Marinangeli, Matthias Luthen and Alexandre Batignon, the Pinnacle Motorsport teammates, coming together, and Isaac Haja out on the first lap. 2 safety car interventions. Pierre-Louis Chauvet is on his 9th lap of the race behind the American muscle car, which doubles as the safety car here this weekend. Guan Yu Zhou, better run for him this morning despite the safety car introductions, but under racing conditions, Guan Yu looks a lot better than he did yesterday, Aditya, and Dino in 3rd.
Absolutely, Guan Yu Zhou looks a little bit more racy today. Dino as well, sticking to the back of Zhou, waiting for anything to happen in front of him that he can take advantage of. But who's really impressive right now is Lorenzo Fluzza. 20 minutes into the race, comfortable in 4th place. He does want that podium like he mentioned, but Chem, he's not going to make it easy for Fluzza. Chem was all over him before the safety car situations began, and it's got 9 minutes to go. Chem is going to try to do something about it. One more lap probably for the safety car, and hopefully we'll be back in at the end of the next lap. We will see, but 9 minutes to go as we stand.
Lorenzo Fluzza, straight from the Spanish Formula 4 Championship in 2020. Dino from the Italian F4 Championship last season as well. Lorenzo so close to a podium here this morning. His father, Lorenzo Sr., here at the circuit will be so nervous, having no fingernails left. Lorenzo, position 4. Intelligent tactics yesterday. He was out on the first lap, pitted for a new set of tyres. The grid decided by the best lap times in race 1, but he was still quick enough not only to put a time in race 1 yesterday, despite finishing way down the field. In fact, I don't think he even did finish, but he is holding his own when we do race under green conditions here this morning. Lorenzo Fluzza.
I wonder how much of that decision was down to a masterstroke by his team manager, Alex Young. This seems like something someone like Alex Young will think about. He knows the rules in and out. He knew yesterday that Lorenzo didn't stand much of a chance after that first lap incident. Put him out on new tires, sent a proper lap, and managed to find himself in 4th. If it was Alex's decision, he must be pretty pleased with that one.
And he is still in 4th place as the incident involving Nicola Marinangeli and Roy Nissani. That's the reason Roy retired off screen. Those 2 drivers did come together. That will be investigated after the race for what it matters. As the safety car, we believe, we'll look for the lights. No, they're still on. Possibly another lap. Yes, Alex Young, team manager for Black Arts Racing, the reigning champions of the Asian F3 Championship with the Dutchman Joey Alders last season. So they go by the Marina. We are still waiting for word from race control. Down through turn 16, the lights are still on. They go under the W Hotel. Another lap behind the safety car, we believe.
Every minute behind the safety car is probably giving Chauvet nightmares.
It gives more life to their tyres, though, Aditya, as the safety car continues on to lead the race. The dying stages of race 2. Race 3 this afternoon, you can catch that live, and of course next week at the Dubai Autodrome, the 4th round of the series, and then we are back here at the Yas Marina Grand Prix circuit for the final round of the 2021 championship on the full GP layout in 2 weeks' time. Another lap behind the safety car, Chauvet, Zhou, Bogdanovic, Lorenzo and Cem in P5, Jahan, Kush, Roman, Reese and Roberto. Patrick Pasma trying to get some points out of this race. Chauvet is the series leader on 119, from Jahan Daruvala on 113, Zhou 105, Isaac 0 points from this, so he will almost certainly drop out of 4th place in the championship. From 81 points will not add to that tally this morning as 550 remains on the clock. Patrick Pasma down in 9th place with 23 points. It's been a brilliant drive as Yumo Iwasa goes through behind the pin. He should surely pick up some points. Watch Patrick to just launch when the safety car does ultimately pull into pit lane.
Just a little bit off topic. This long safety car situation reminds me of last year, I think it was, when one of the safety cars, was it in America, ran out of fuel. They had so many safety car situations and the car ran out of fuel, and it's been probably half the race that the safety car's been on track for this one.
Look at the safety car they're using, the Camaro American muscle car. It is a fabulous machine. It's probably not up there with the likes of a Prius when we come to fuel economy, though.
It's a proper guzzler, isn't it? But
it's a fantastic machine.
As we get the message saying that the safety car is in this lap.
To refuel, obviously. Hopefully we don't see him back out again for the rest of the race, because we've got only 4 minutes to go. That'll give us just a couple of laps or maybe a little more. Let's see what Chauvet can do this time. Last time he couldn't quite get away from Zhou. Zhou stuck to the back of him till he made that mistake on the last corner, but in just one lap the safety car was back out. Alexandre and Roy hitch a ride back to the pits as the field prepared to race to the checkered flag in race 2 here this morning. Chauvet backs the field up very slowly. Guan Yu sitting right under the rear wing of car 3. The safety car has disappeared into pit lane. Chauvet just waits. He will control the pace. Zhou will try and stay with. Remember, Zhou, I suspect he let the tyres cool down just that little bit before the safety car came out. He missed the apex, ran wide. He won't make the same mistake again. He's too good for that. But Chauvet is quick. The safety car down into pit lane. Chauvet accelerates. Zhou has already lost a little bit of time. Bogdanovic right behind his teammate. And again, the green flag flies. We race to the checkered flag. 3:33 left on the clock.
A much better start this time by Chauvet. This time Zhou couldn't hold on to him. I think we noticed how long Chauvet held the field back. The last couple of times Chauvet just sent it much earlier, got on the gas just as they went under the hotel, but this time he waited a couple of 100 meters more before going, and that kind of caught Zhou off guard. But Zhou, he's not letting him go. He knows he's got just a couple of laps to try and win this race, and he's going to try and give it everything. Chauvet is his championship rival, and every point counts at this point. Chauvet knows if he wins this race, he can extend his lead by a fair margin over Jahan, who's in 6th, and Zhou, who will move up to 2nd if they finish as it stands at the moment.
Patrick down the inside with the send. He runs off the circuit, as does Roberto Faria, but he makes the play. So Yumu Iwasa around the outside. Patrick from the back of the grid for Evans GP. They are 4 deep. Further back in the pack, they almost run off the circuit. Iwasa around the outside. Pasma on the sand. Locks up the inside left. Watch Iwasa. They make contact. Patrick goes around. He's in the grass. The fabulous drive from the back of the grid comes to an end. Huge disappointment, and further ahead, one of the Abu Dhabi Racing Team drivers seems to have gone around. Don't tell me that's you. It may be FIA. It may be Roberto FIA. We will wait before confirming as Iwasa goes through. No problems for Chauvet out front though. The rest of the field, this is a messy race.
It is messy indeed. I'm not sure if Patrick Pasma got going there, because if he did, he could bring out the safety car once again. But for now, it looks like it's green. We've got 1:42 to go, which means we are on the last lap right now. It's the last lap of racing, but it has been a messy race. But let's not forget, we did get a fair bit of excitement out of it as well.
Pasma down the field. We believe this is the last lap of the race. 0.6 of a second between Zhou and Bogdanovic, so apologies, it was not the Prema Power Team drivers. They're in second and third. Lorenzo driving superbly in P4. He's fended off the challenge from Gianbolic Bassi. Roberto FIA making contact with Patrick Pasma as Chauvet pulls away on his way to what would be his 4th victory in the season. We believe this is the last lap of the race here this morning. Guan Yu Zhou in second place, then it's Dino. Vamos, Lorenzo Flutza in 4th. What a drive for the kid from Mallorca. He's in 4th place, one step off the podium on the final lap of the race. A purple sector from Chauvet, 30 seconds remaining in the race. Down by the Yas Marina goes Pierre-Louis Chauvet. He wants the victory. He wants the 18 super license points towards a Formula One career, and he will take the championship lead. He will extend it in just a few corners' time. Guan Yu Zhou cannot respond. Dino in 3rd place. Lorenzo just brilliant behind in 4th from Gianbolic Bassi and Jahan. There's Kush going through. Head of Roman, Roberto continues on in 9th place. Iwasa and Cartwell for Team High Tech. The gap 0.6 of a second. The final corner is about to come up for car 3. And he'll do it again. The checkered flag. It is PLC in car 3. Takes position 1. The Travel Planet Pinnacle Motorsport car on a voyage to victory here this morning. Chauvet wins for the 4th time in the 2021 Formula 3 Championship of Asia. Guan Yu Zhou P2. Dino in 3rd place. Lorenzo Flutza superb for the young Spaniard, straight out of the Spanish Formula 4 Championship in 2020. Holds off the F1 Esports champion who won that title here in Abu Dhabi 4 years ago. Gianbolic Bassi, car 74, comes home in position 5. Chauvet on your screen has done it again.
Chauvet had his work cut out in that race. All those safety car interventions definitely didn't work in his favor. He built up a good lead, and then we had the first safety car intervention, and then Zhu was right behind him. Zhu tried a couple of moves on him, but they just couldn't make them stick. And Chauvet once again behind the safety car after that, but he absolutely nailed the restart, and there was nothing Zhu could do about it. But Lorenzo Flutza, a top 5 finish for him after that master stroke of a strategy yesterday. What a drive. Cem tried everything he could early on in the race, but just couldn't make a move on him. And in the end, the safety car interventions didn't help Cem either. So, my hat's off to Lorenzo Flutza and the team. Brilliant.
Vamos, Lorenzo! We can hear them cheering in Mallorca all the way from the Middle East. A slight exaggeration, but we know they're watching our coverage and they're celebrating with their boy, the rookie, who finishes just 1 place off the podium. Pierre-Louis Chauvet takes the victory. The Mumbai Falcons team, Jahan in 6th, Kush in 7th. Good drive from them. Jahan Daruvala, he was the series leader 24 hours ago, but he has fallen back, possibly into 3rd in the championship. There was nothing in it. We know that Chauvet will extend the series lead. He takes the victory by 0.6 of a second. 119 points. Oh, it's time to do mathematics again. Did you? 119 plus 25 equals 144. Hey, that's not so bad. So 144 points for Chauvet. Jahan finishes in 6th place and therefore picks up 8 points So 144 for Chauvet and Jahan. Wow, almost a race victory behind the Frenchman now.
Yeah, I think he's at 121 points, and Zhu will probably be ahead of Jehan, or will he not? I think Zhu is on 123. So Zhu now jumps Jehan in the standings with 123 points, 2 points ahead of him. But Chauvet, almost an entire race win now in the lead. Fantastic drive by him once again. It's the 4th victory of his in the season, isn't it?
Yes, again, car 3, position 1. Another podium for Dino. What a drive for Pierre-Louis Chauvet. Again, takes victory, extends his lead in the championship. We can see the smile beneath the belt visor. Pinnacle Motorsport. Also, the team's championship up for grabs in 2021. There is John O'Hara, team owner of the Pinnacle team, the Irishman. Something about 4-leaf clovers, Irish luck. They did lose 2 of their drivers. I can't think of the right joke, the right cliche. Congratulations. How simple's that?
Yes.
Irish eyes are smiling. Is that not it?
Is it? I don't know. I'm not so good with the
Irish eyes are smiling.
Irish eyes are smiling. Nonetheless,
I know
I'm sure
Irish
John
fans are absolutely cringing right now, but congratulations
I'm
to
sure
John O'Hara's
John
team.
O'Hara is happy with that. Disaster for him a little bit in the sense that a couple of his cars came together, but Pierre-Louis Chauvet has more than made up for that.
Yeah, Matthias Luton and Alexandre Bardignon retiring earlier on in the race. That brought out the safety car. But Pierre-Louis Chauvet has finished in P1 yet again. 18 years of age, born in Menton, down on the French Riviera, now living in Avignon. Formula Regional European Championship, 5th last year with that spectacular win at Barcelona in November. 1 or 2 races in Euro Formula the season prior, French Formula 4 Championship, and twice champion of France in the FFSA French Karting Championship. Again, we are about to hear from the race winner, Pierre-Louis Chauvet, who is down there in pit lane, PLC, in car 3, goes position 1 for the 4th time and extends his lead in the 2021 Formula 3 Championship of Asia. Pierre-Louis Chauvet is down in pit lane with Jake.
Extending the lead in the championship with 2 safety car periods to handle as well. Just talk us through a very stressful race.
Yeah, exactly. It was really stressful because first of all I put like a gap of 1.3, 1.4 seconds ahead of Zhu, and then due to safety car 1, it was really close, and it was let's say, yeah, he was there, and it was quite stressful, but I managed well and our pace was good, so I'm really happy.
So far, nobody has managed to win 3 races in 1 round. Do you think you could potentially do that in race 3?
I think it will be hard, but I will do everything for it. We put, let's say, fresh tires for this race, and let's see now starting from P3 in race 3. But I will try. Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic job, Pierre-Louis.
Thank you. I would say something in French. Mention spéciale à Norman Borgel de la salle de sport Angel Training à Cannes. Voilà, je voudrais te remercier pour les coachings physiques et la prépa mentale qui m'a bien aidé. Voilà, je te souhaite des bons coachings et à plus. Ciao, ciao.
Merci beaucoup, formidable. Let's grab a word with Guan Yu Zhou. Guan Yu, we could sense that you were determined to try and go for that victory. You were hustling Chauvet all the way through the race. Must have been very difficult with 2 safety car periods to handle. Just talk us through it from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean the race, actually we are starting on the older set, so the set we done in race 1, which I think is a positive for the race. The race pace we show strong, but to be just attacking was just not enough. Obviously safety car restart, I think I managed quite well to stay always close behind him, and also to be, keep attacking him, put him under pressure, but yeah, just not enough to get that victory today. But actually we are really looking good for tomorrow, this afternoon's race, so hopefully all too good and in afternoon's race. And I think there's a few things on the setup to be changed, but compared to yesterday it was a lot better.
And crucially, of course, that 2nd place now puts you 2nd in the Drivers' Championship. Do you feel there's a chance to get back into the lead in the 3rd race?
Well, actually, I didn't actually calculate where I'm in the championship. So for now, I just try to get the maximum points per weekend, and obviously come to the last round, we calculate more of this. But at the minute, I just try to get as much points in the bag as possible.
Great drive. Good luck for race 3.
Thank you.
And we'll have a quick word as well with Dynamite Dino himself. Dino, not a bad run in your penultimate race, a good start, and that really put you into the fight for the podium. Just talk us through those early laps.
I was just about to say, do you see my start?
Awesome.
It was really good. No, I mean, as I say, always it's very important with the start, and I really managed it really well this time, going into P3 into T1. So, no, I mean, it was amazing, and then just managing the gap, the tires, because I know the guys behind, the guys in front have better tires than me. So no, just managing and then try to stay in position, and then the safety car didn't make my life easier, let's say. Yeah, but anyways, it was really good race.
So the focus for race 3, you've obviously got to be thinking about tyre strategy, but you've obviously got to focus on this is your last race, so it could be a very important one for you to bow out on a high.
Yeah, of course, it's we saved the best to the last. So no, let's see what we can do, and yeah. I really enjoy it, and I hope I have fun in the next race.
We'd love to see another start like that one again. Good luck for race 3.
Thank you.
Did you hear Dino again? Did you see my start? Yes, we did, Dino. From grid 5 into 3rd as you look at the results. And I'm sure Rickard Rydell back in Sweden, the 1998 British Touring Car champion, who is now acting as manager for Dino, who was here for the first 2 rounds, also saw that. Rickard, your boy did good. And just recapping what Pierre-Louis Chauvet did say there en français, he was thanking his trainer, Norman, from his Angel Training Coaching down there in Cannes, who has already returned back to France. And he paid credit to Norman, 6-time European kickboxing champion, who has trained Pierre-Louis Chauvet, who takes his 4th victory in the championship. Guan Yu Zhou in P2, Dino Beganovic P3, Lord Enzo Flutzer. What a drive. Black Arts Racing ahead of his teammate Chen Bolak-Basi. Jahan in 6th, Kush in 7th, Roman Roberto and Ayuma Oiwasa, the final point for the Red Bull Junior in 10th place. Pinnacle Motorsport Abu Dhabi Racing by Prema. And good result from the Black Arts team. Pinnacle Racing, let's remember they almost won last year's championship with Jack Doohan. Jumping Jack finishing in P2 to Joey Alders, as Dino makes his way up to the podium yet again in the 2021 championship. Takes a breath. So a Swede, a Chinese driver and a Frenchman go 3, 2 and 1 here in the United Arab Emirates in the Asian Championship. Pierre-Louis Chauvet stands on the top step of the podium for the 4th time in the Formula 3 Championship of Asia here at Yas Marina. Guan Yu in P2, and Dynamite Dino takes 3rd place in his penultimate race of the 2021 championship. Aditya, a race between 3, but now I do suggest we have a favourite.
We do indeed. I think everybody kind of knew that Pierre-Louis Chauvet would be a favorite for this championship. We saw in Dubai he was just slowly making his way up. He won the final race there in Dubai, made some absolutely brilliant moves. One on Roy Nissany, if you remember, to take the lead and then win the race. So Chauvet has been a favorite right from the beginning, and like you said, Ian, he wants it. He wants it from the heart. He really wants to win this championship because he's got Formula 2 drivers to race against. He's got probably a lot to prove. Definitely a bright future ahead for Chauvet, but he wants this championship more than anyone else on this field by the looks of it.
I think you described it perfectly, Aditya. He really does want the F3 Asian Championship. Guan Yu Zhou in 2nd. Dino, it's his penultimate race. He'll be back for race 3 this afternoon, as will we. In the meantime, what do you reckon, Aditya, to the middle right? That's the Cipriani restaurant. Do you think if we mention them enough that they'll shout us lunch here in a few moments' time?
It's worth a shot, isn't it?
We hope they're listening. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage quite seriously. We'll see you back for race 3 this afternoon. Great to have you watching the Formula 3 Championship of Asia. Race 2, we'll see you this afternoon from Yas Marina.